All right, no special effects for this video right here. Just wanted to give raw emotions on what just happened, what just transpired on that television that I got my eyes on. I still got it on ESPN right now. Shout out to them. They were right all along about Sam Darnold. The questions were going into the playoffs, like they understood that the Minnesota Vikings had 14 wins and all that sounded good, but they were like, the playoffs, there's a different type of pressure, different animal, and we just don't trust Sam Darnold. And hats off to them, literally hats off to ESPN and the media and everybody else that were telling the Minnesota Vikings, like, hey, Sam Darnold, you got to show us, we got to see it to believe it when it most matters. And damn it, did not come through. Sam Darnold, 14-win season. One thing we had to look at is the schedule, strength of schedule. In reality, look at the schedule and look at the teams that Minnesota got lined up against. And this goes for the Detroit Lions as well. The Detroit Lions, I mean, yeah, they blew out teams, and I was told that they were putting up 50 points and all this and that against these low-budget teams. No disrespect to anybody out there, but underperforming teams, I should say. But Minnesota and Detroit got lined up against the AFC South and NFC West. How many of those teams were actually at 500 or better when the season ended? So we got to look at the teams and the wins and go into it and actually really throw the question out there. How good was this team with the schedule that they had? Sam Darnold got bailed out this year when J.J. McCarthy went down with the injury, and then the schedule was a cakewalk to the playoffs, which is why at the end of the season, the Detroit Lions and the LA Rams actually helped Minnesota out by beating the brakes off of Minnesota. And the reason I'm saying that Minnesota should be thankful for what Detroit and the Rams did to us, to the Minnesota Vikings, is they literally answered the question that everybody's been waiting for a response out of Minnesota, and Detroit and the Rams made it so easy for Minnesota to have a response for that question. Is it going to be Sam Darnold, and are the Vikings going to trade J.J. McCarthy away? If you're really on the side of Minnesota should sign Sam Darnold to a long-term deal, then I don't know, there's no hope for you. You obviously didn't see the last two games against Detroit in Week 18 and against the Rams in Arizona. You didn't see that, so there's no hope for you. And the question has an answer to it now. J.J. McCarthy is a long-term solution. He's going to be cheaper, and Minnesota should not do the franchise tag for Sam Darnold. If Minnesota does the franchise tag for Sam Darnold, they will be shooting themselves in the foot if they're hoping for a team to go out there and give a trade pickup for Sam Darnold on that franchise tag, so that way they can get Sam Darnold. If Minnesota does the franchise thing and that was every other team, I'd just be like, all right, go ahead. Franchise tag is $40 million a year. Have fun with that when we all seen what he did when the lights got brighter. No, can't do. Let Sam Darnold walk. Good luck to you wherever you land. But please get rid of this dude, Sam Darnold. J.J. McCarthy in the offseason to make sure that this dude is our long-term solution. And he's young, still on a rookie contract, so we can bring even more talent onto the roster and, improve the defensive line, our defensive tackle, and the interior part of the offensive line, what we've been slacking on the last 5 years, however long it's been. Minnesota has a lot to look forward to in the offseason. We got a young quarterback, and that's all I can think of. But yeah, Sam Darnold, not the long-term solution. Good luck to wherever you go. J.J. McCarthy, and in the offseason, just draft, and in the NFL draft like 4 offensive linemen. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm in the heat of the moment right now. The game just ended, but bear with me. Draft like 3 or 4 offensive linemen for the interior part of the line, and then you go inside like 3 or 4 offensive linemen in free agency and let them battle it out for may the best man win to be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings offensive line next year. That's all I got. I mean, I can't think of anything else. The defense gives up chunks of yards, but defense is going to look different next year. Brian Flores is gone. I mean, dang, it is what it is. The NFL, it's NFL, not for long. So, I mean, eventually teams are going to catch on to Brian Flores, so we got to make the move too. Good luck to Brian Flores wherever he lands. Just like Mike Zimmer, eventually everybody figured out how to beat Mike Zimmer's defense, and he was a thing of the past. We got to move on from Brian Flores and find the next good, bright, defensive-minded coach for the defense. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, offensive line and running back and that's all I see that Minnesota really needs, and obviously like a strong defensive tackle, nose tackle. And yeah, Minnesota should be good. Linebackers are good, corners are good, safeties are good. Just hang in there. We'll be all right. We'll be back next year. But don't give up hope on JJ McCarthy. That's going to be our long-term solution. Sam Darnold, good luck to you, man. 14 wins are hard to get in the NFL in one season, but bro, you are not a franchise quarterback at all.